When you hear Stonehenge, what springs to mind? Aliens, druids, or an astronomical wonder? These are just a few of the many theories that this enigmatic stone circle in the heart of England has inspired. Nestled in the green plains of Wiltshire, Stonehenge has been a subject of human fascination for centuries, a silent sentinel whispering tales of ancient civilizations and forgotten rites. But what is the truth behind these massive standing stones? Are they the remnants of extraterrestrial architects, a temple for druidic ceremonies, or a Stone Age observatory meticulously aligned with celestial events? Maybe they're a testament to the impossible task accomplished by our ancient ancestors. Yet, as captivating as these theories may be, they're often shrouded in myths and misconceptions. So are these theories based on fact or mere speculation? Let's delve into the heart of Stonehenge's greatest mysteries. Let's tackle the first myth. Ever heard the one about aliens building Stonehenge? Yes, it's a popular myth. I mean, who wouldn't love the idea of extraterrestrial architects, right? It brings a certain cosmic flair to our history. But alas, this is one myth that needs to be grounded. The idea of aliens constructing Stonehenge is largely fueled by the monument's mysterious origins and the sheer magnitude of its construction. It's hard to fathom how ancient people, with their rudimentary tools, could possibly have built such a massive structure. But just because it's hard to imagine, doesn't mean it's impossible. Let's bring in the experts. Archaeologists have studied Stonehenge extensively. From their findings, we know that the construction of Stonehenge took place over several centuries, starting around 5,000 years ago. And no, there were no signs of alien blueprints or extraterrestrial tools left behind. The stones used in Stonehenge's construction were sourced from nearby quarries. The smaller stones, known as bluestones, were transported from the Preseli Hills, about 150 miles away. Quite a trek, but certainly possible for determined humans. Moreover, evidence of ancient settlements and tools found around Stonehenge points to the work of human hands. Artifacts like antler picks and bone tools indicate that the builders of Stonehenge were our very own ancestors, not visitors from outer space. And let's not forget the human remains. Numerous burials have been discovered in and around Stonehenge, suggesting that the site held significant meaning for the people who built it. It's highly unlikely that aliens would fly light years across the universe just to bury their dead in the English countryside. So, while the alien theory adds a dash of sci-fi to our past, the truth is far more down to earth. Stonehenge, as mysterious and fascinating as it is, was built by humans. Ingenious, determined, and resourceful humans who left us a monument that continues to captivate us thousands of years later. So the next time someone mentions aliens and Stonehenge in the same sentence, remember the evidence. It's our ancestors who deserve the credit for this enduring marvel, not extraterrestrial architects. Now onto the next myth. Some claim Stonehenge was a druid temple, but is there any truth to this? Let's dive in. The belief that Stonehenge was exclusively used by druids for religious ceremonies is a popular one. However, upon closer examination, it becomes clear that this is a misconception. To understand why, let's take a journey back in time. Stonehenge is estimated to have been built between 4,000 and 5,000 years ago, during the late Neolithic and early Bronze Age. Now, the Druids, who were the priests of the ancient Celts, didn't arrive in Britain until around 2,000 years ago. That's a solid 2,000 to 3,000 year gap. So it's clear that Stonehenge was standing tall long before the first Druid set foot in the region. Moreover, the historical record shows us that the Druids were more likely to conduct their religious ceremonies in natural settings such as forests and rivers, rather than man-made structures. The association between the Druids and Stonehenge seems to have originated in the 17th century, propagated by antiquarians who are trying to make sense of this enigmatic site. While it's possible that the Druids may have used Stonehenge for their ceremonies after they arrived in Britain, to say that they built it, or that it was exclusively theirs, would be a historical inaccuracy. The monument's origins and initial uses remain shrouded in mystery, and while the Druids are a fascinating part of British history, they're just one piece of the Stonehenge puzzle. So there you have it. The idea of Stonehenge as a Druid temple is more myth than reality. A romantic notion that doesn't quite hold up under the weight of historical evidence. Stonehenge is undoubtedly ancient, but not quite ancient enough to have been a Druid temple. Now let's look at another popular myth. Stonehenge and the solstices, a match made in the heavens, or just a coincidence? It's time to delve into this myth that places Stonehenge as a celestial calendar, perfectly aligned with the solstices. Many believe that these ancient stones were placed with such precision to mark the summer and winter solstices. This belief isn't entirely unfounded. The avenue connecting Stonehenge to the River Avon aligns with the sun at the summer solstice, and the monument's largest stone, known as the heel stone, aligns with the sunrise on the same day. However, this perfect alignment isn't as perfect as it seems. The sun doesn't rise or set at the same point on the horizon each year due to the Earth's axial precession, a slow, cyclic change in the orientation of Earth's axis. So, if Stonehenge was an ancient calendar, it wasn't a very accurate one. Moreover, recent research has suggested that the alignment might have more to do with social and religious factors rather than astronomical ones. For instance, the winter solstice may have been a time of feasting and celebration for the Neolithic people who built Stonehenge. The summer solstice, on the other hand, may have been less important. It's also worth noting that of the 56 Aubrey holes, circular pits around the monument's perimeter, only 4 align with astronomical events. These factors suggest that while the solstices may have been significant to the builders of Stonehenge, they were likely one aspect of a complex cultural and religious calendar, rather than the sole focus. So the myth of Stonehenge as a precise solar calendar doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Another myth that is common: moving those massive stones, an impossible task for our ancestors? Not quite. Let's delve into the nitty-gritty of this misconception. It's easy to imagine ancient people gazing at these colossal stones, scratching their heads and thinking, well, we're stumped. But the reality is, they probably had a few clever tricks up their woolen sleeves. The stones of Stonehenge, some of which weigh as much as 25 tons, were transported from miles away. This has led many to believe that such a feat was beyond the capabilities of our ancestors. But ancient civilizations were far from being primitive. They were resourceful, innovative, and above all, determined. Archaeologists suggest that the people of the time could have used a simple yet effective method to move these massive stones, sledges and ropes. Yes, you heard it right. The stones were likely placed on wooden sledges, which were then dragged overland with the help of ropes. And no, they didn't need a horde of superhumans for this task. Evidence suggests that it would have taken a team of just 60 people to move a single stone. But what about the placement of these stones? How did they manage to erect these megalithic structures? Well, the answer again lies in human ingenuity. They likely dug holes, maneuvered the stones into them, and then used a system of weights and levers to pull them upright. This method, known as stone pulling, was commonly used in ancient construction and is still practiced in some parts of the world today. So, was it an easy task? Absolutely not. It was a monumental undertaking that required tremendous effort, coordination, and time. But impossible? Far from it. Our ancestors had the ingenuity to overcome the challenges they faced, and the results of their labor still stand tall today, thousands of years later. It seems our ancestors were more resourceful than we give them credit for. So the next time you look at Stonehenge, remember that it's not just a monument. It's a testament to human resourcefulness, determination, and the power of collective effort. We've journeyed through myths and misconceptions, but what's the takeaway? From extraterrestrial architects to druid temples, from solstice alignments to impossible tasks, we've explored the labyrinth of lore surrounding Stonehenge. Each of these myths, captivating as they might be, crumbles under the weight of evidence and expert analysis. Our adventure has not just been about debunking myths. It's about celebrating the power of critical thinking. It's about appreciating how, with a healthy dose of skepticism and a relentless pursuit of truth, we can pierce through the fog of folklore. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep questioning.